What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, man, this is my Out of the Theater review for Fantastic Four. First Steps, just got out of the theater, caught it down here in San Diego, actually, as I'm heading over to Comic-Con right after this. But what did I think of it? It's good. You know, it's a solid movie. You know, it's a 7 out of 10. You know, it's not a great movie. It is not a terrible movie. It's a little bit above Superman, in my opinion. Slightly better than Superman. And, you know, like I said, I didn't hate or like Superman. It's just kind of mid to me. This is a little bit better than Superman, you know. I thought the performances were fine. Pedro Pascal, honestly, he's just an okay actor, and he just kind of performs and does what you expect him to do in a movie like this. So you're not going to be blown away by his performance whatsoever, okay? He's not that kind of an actor, but he gets the job done in a kind of a basic paint by numbers way of acting, you know. So that's Pedro Pascal. Let me see, Vanessa Kirby, you know, she's kind of the star of the show. Like a lot of us is expecting MCU in this, and it is, but you know, she kind of does a job, you know, good job acting the character of Sue Storm. The plot, let me say, the plot is pretty much painted in the clips and in the trailers that you have seen. Galactus is coming, and they're trying to get ready on how do they, you know, defeat Galactus, you know, and what everybody thinks was supposed to happen doesn't happen. I do think that their solution is kind of interesting, kind of clever, but I think, again, with the story being what it is, its execution is kind of shaky. All right, I could follow it, and I think a lot of people in the audience could follow it as well, but it was just kind of shaky, you know. Other than that, again, like, you know, the performances were fine. The dude, Johnny Storm, was good. The Thing, Ebon, Moss-Bachrach, he was good as the Thing. They were really it, you know. It was just the four of them. There weren't really any other character. Oh, and then, of course, the Silver Surfette. But you know what? I'll give it to it, you know, the way that they shape the story out. She's a nothing burger. She just kind of comes in. She does her thing. She does have, of course, something to do with the way that they defeat Galactus at the end. I won't say exactly how she does it in case you guys don't want me to spoil it. But yeah, again, overall, I think it's just like a 7. You know, it's all right. No hate towards the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I feel like this movie would have fit perfectly in that first 3 phases where Marvel was just kind of, you know, like one of those normal Marvel movies, like a Thor: The Dark World, you know, something like that. It would fit right in there with that, you know, like Guardians 2. It's like on that level, you know. It's just not an amazing movie, but it's not a terrible movie. It's okay. It's passable. You can watch it. It's short. It's really short, man. It's like, dang, this thing over already. You know, I think it was like an hour and like maybe like an hour and 40, an hour and 50 minutes. So, you know, it's one of the shorter Marvel movies, in and out real fast. The special effects, they talk a lot about the special effects, and the special effects were pretty solid, especially when they go to meet Galactus out there in space. And I'm not spoiling anything because that's been all trailers and clips and everything. So we know that they have to go and do that. And that stuff looked actually really, really good. That was probably my favorite part of the movie. And then towards the end, you know, some very solid special effects at the end, you know. And then, of course, there's a post-credit scene that kind of sets things up for the next move. But yeah, that's it, you know. Again, 7 out of 10 movie. I don't know if this is going to move the needle. You know, it's a good enough movie where it doesn't hurt the MCU. But at the same time, it's like, okay, does this get me excited for the next thing? Not really, you know. It is a standalone movie. You can watch this movie not knowing anything about Marvel and anything about what's been going on lately, and you'll be good. But that's kind of the problem, is like, this doesn't really lead to anything, and it doesn't make me excited to see what they're going to do next. And I'm pretty sure there will be a sequel to this. As far as how it does in the box office, we'll have to see. But that's going to be strictly on the strength of how Marvel's doing. This film alone will get good ratings, good reviews. I think the audience I sat with liked it, you know, but this is probably like a Comic-Con audience because everybody in the theater had a badge on, had some Comic-Con related merch in their hands and everything. Like the guy sitting next to me, man, he had a giant Comic-Con bag full of stuff, you know. People was walking out with the popcorn buckets and everything. So this is the audience I saw it with wanted to love this movie, and they clapped and cheered in all the right spots, you know. Again, I think it was a good movie, but I won't go out praising it. You know, I'll probably watch it again like I had to do with Superman to kind of assess how I truly feel about it overall. But first viewing is solid. You know, it's a good movie. I don't think you guys would hate the movie. But, you know, I know some people are going to be like, I'm not watching it. You know, I'm not going to go see it. So, yeah, that's it. If you guys have any questions, or excuse me, have any questions, any comments, let me know. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you at Comic-Con. I'm about to go and check it out and see what's cracking. All right, peace.